guys are doing well. We are doing a no makeup day today. I don't usually film videos with no makeup, but I'm a mom now. So it is what it is. I also just wanted to do like my skincare and just feel like clean and fresh and just have like nothing on my face. I don't know. I have been doing no makeup for like the last 2 weeks other than yesterday because I was filming a vlog. It's just my life now, and honestly my skin has been so nice through my entire pregnancy, and since I've had my daughter, my skin is just like glowing, so why not maintain it? Anyways, you guys are here for my labor story and we're gonna get into it. Now, if you are pregnant or expecting to be pregnant and you want positive vibes, like the best case scenario, and you want to go in it with peace of mind and being relaxed and calm, do not watch this. I'm warning you right now, my labor was worst case scenario. Well, not, I'm sure other people have had it way worse, but everything that I had planned for went wrong. If you are looking for reassurance, this is not the video for you. So I will try to recount this in the most concise way and the most organized fashion. A lot of the experience I was kind of like in and out for, so I will try to recount this to the best of my abilities. Also, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, so a lot of the medical terms and the medication used, don't even ask me the name, I have no idea, but I will tell you guys my experience, and hopefully it all makes sense. So my daughter was born on September 23rd, which was a Saturday night. Now keep in mind, I have had no complications through my entire pregnancy. I had an amazing pregnancy. Obviously, first trimester, it's a little bit rough. Last trimester, you're just uncomfortable, you're in pain, you're swollen. Obviously it's uncomfortable and you just kind of want it over with. But I had no complications. I had no medical issues, no health issues. My daughter was healthy, I was healthy. I'm young, I'm in pretty good shape, I'm pretty healthy, no complications, thank God, and I'm so grateful for that. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have an easy labor. My mom's labor, since the first contraction until I was born, was 1 hour. She pushed 4 times and I was born. And I was thinking, perfect, I'm gonna have the same experience. It's all gonna be beautiful. The Friday before my daughter was born, so the 22nd, at 6 p.m. my water broke. We had done so many prenatal classes. I did prenatal yoga and then also prenatal classes through 2 different organizations on like labor and the actual like medical prenatal stuff that's gonna happen, just so I could be prepared, and then also for after the baby's born, like how to take care of baby. So I'm thinking I'm prepared. I know exactly like the labor stages and how long they take and all this stuff. My OB had told us if your water breaks, go to the hospital right away. It doesn't matter if you have contractions or not, because like you're gonna start having contractions afterwards, and then depending on how dilated you are, like it could happen that night, right? So if your water is broken for more than 12 hours and nothing happens, there is a risk for infection. So go to the hospital. So no problem, my water breaks, I'm feeling great. You guys saw it in my labor and delivery vlog. I will link it for you guys. I have a big smile on my face, I have no contractions, I have no pain, I'm just all wet. Side note, when your water breaks, like it's just like leaking. Like I thought it was like one gush of water like in the movies and that's it, you go to the hospital, everything's good. No girl, it was, I was leaking for like 3 days straight, like it just nonstop. I weighed myself 2 days ago and I have not weighed myself since right before birth. I have lost 30 pounds. Now keep in mind, I was unable to walk last week, so I did not do any exercise. I was trying to go for little walks here and there, but they're like 5-10 minute walks. That's it. No exercise, nothing at all, and I have lost 30 pounds since giving birth. Obviously the baby, the placenta, water weight, but that just tells you how much fluid I had in my body. So back to my water breaking. So my water breaks at 6 p.m. We go to the hospital. Now we're sitting there in the waiting room and I'm sitting on towels, like I'm soaked. And I'm thinking they're gonna see that my water broke, so they're gonna take me in. I'm gonna go in the room and we're gonna have this baby tonight. I thought. We're sitting in the waiting room for about 4 hours. Finally, they take me and they check me out, and I'm 1 centimeter dilated. I was 1 centimeter dilated the week before at my OB appointment, and the week before that, I was 0.5 centimeters. So things are not moving quickly. But since my water broke, I'm thinking they're gonna put me in a room and induce me. No, they sent us home. At 10:30 p.m., we come back home, and they say, come back at 7 a.m. the next morning when there's the change of nurses, and you guys are gonna be the first to be seen. Which in retrospect makes no sense, because my water broke at 6 p.m. and you're telling us to come 13 hours later to the hospital. But that is more than the 12-hour before infection. So I don't know why the hospital did that. A lot of like this story has to do with like the hospital and misinformation. I loved my experience at the hospital. It was amazing. The nurses were great. There are just a lot of things that we think they did wrong or they could have done better. This is like my first pregnancy, my first labor, so I didn't know what to expect. But in retrospect, there's a lot of like red flags. We go back home and they say come back at 7 a.m. or if your contractions, so time your contractions, and if they are 3 to 5 minutes apart, come back to the hospital. So no problem. Now, by the time we start heading home, I'm starting to feel contractions coming. They're not crazy yet, but I do feel contractions starting. So they told me to try to sleep if I could. I could not sleep. I had been awake since 6 a.m. that morning. So now I've been awake like 16 hours, maybe 17 hours. Which is fine, but I did not know that I was not going to sleep for like 3 days. So either way, I was not able to sleep through the contractions because the pain just got so bad. For people who have never felt contractions, it's like period pain in the front and the back, times a million. You feel like you're gonna die. Now I'm timing them on my app. They are so sporadic. So sometimes they come within 5 minutes, sometimes they come within like 8 minutes. Some last a minute, some last like 2.5 minutes. They're like all over the place. So I'm monitoring. My boyfriend takes a nap because he's gonna be driving me to the hospital, like driving me back when it's time to go. I am now in like full-blown contractions, full-blown labor. I have the windows open because it's a nice evening, and I don't know how nobody called the cops because I am screaming. I'm not screaming like, ah, I'm screaming like I sound like a dying cow. It's like, ah, ah, and there's like different sounds that you make. There's a lot going on. So I'm timing my contractions. And now they're at the point that they're 1.5 minutes apart and they last for like a good minute. And because they're so quick, I'm thinking I'm gonna have this baby right now. They didn't go through the 3-minute phase. They just went straight to like 1.5 minutes. And I'm just in so much pain. So it's 4 a.m. now and I wake my boyfriend up. I said, you have to take me to the hospital. During the contractions, there's nothing that makes them feel better. So I am going from lying down to being on 4 legs to trying all these yoga poses that I learned in my prenatal yoga classes. Nothing is helping. I'm walking up and down our hallway. Nothing is helping at all. Like, I don't know what I could have done. I'm on my labor ball. Whatever position I'm in just hurts more than the last. So I don't know what to do. So I'm just kind of doing them all, trying to get through it. Finally, I said, you have to take me to the hospital. So we're driving to the hospital, and I did not want to go in the car to the hospital. Like, it's like a 20-minute drive, and I'm thinking, I just want to teleport there. Like, I think we should call 911. But he ended up driving me. We got to the hospital, and the nurse says, you're back, because it's not 7 a.m. And she goes, how are you doing? And I couldn't even talk. I was in so much pain. I just went, like, not good. They checked me again. I'm 1 centimeter dilated. So I have not dilated at all. So now I've been in labor. So since my water broke, it's been like 10 hours. So finally they put me in a room. So this is like the private room that I'm gonna be delivering the baby in, hopefully. That's what the plan was. So they put us in this really nice private room. We have like a little kitchenette. There's like a freezer, a fridge, because I remember we got popsicles and put them in there. And then we have this like a few sofas and like reclining chairs. So my boyfriend ended up sleeping in one of those. We have a really nice bathroom with a stand-up shower and also a bath with jets. Like it was like top notch. So they suggest taking a bath. So fine, I go in the bath. I'm sitting in the tub with the jets on, like full, for 4 hours. So I had spray tan 2 days before this. By the time I got out of the bath, my spray tan was gone just from sitting in the hot water with the jets. Which like my spray tan doesn't matter for this story, but that just shows you guys how like much I was in there. Hot bath did help for some contractions. They just felt a little bit less painful. And then the nurse had said, we can give you the epidural, because I've asked for epidural now 3 times, and they said we can give you it when you're 4 centimeters. If we give you the epidural too early, you're gonna stop dilating, because the epidural stops the pain. So you're gonna your body's not gonna do anything. It's kind of just gonna be numb. So we can't give it to you too early. So that's fine. But they said when we give you the epidural, then we can give you oxytocin, which is the hormone that makes you dilate and get things going. So there is a pro to giving you the epidural, but we can't do it until 4 centimeters. So that's fine. I'm taking a bath. The nurses are coming in and out. They're checking my vitals, checking my blood pressure, blah, blah, blah. So after the 4 hours, the doctor checks me out. I'm 2 centimeters. Now it's been 16 hours of labor, past the 12 hours before the risk of infection. So keep that in mind. So she checks me, I'm 2 centimeters, but I'm in so much pain. She says, okay, fine, we can give you the epidural and then we can start the oxytocin. So I'm like, perfect, things are gonna start happening. So they put me in the bed. They go get the anesthesiologist, gives me the epidural. They gave it to me at the regular dose, which is 10. I don't know 10 what, but she said it's 10. So they give it to me there. It was too strong for me, so I just kind of like went like all numb. And because it was, which is the point, but because it was so strong for me, my blood pressure started dropping. So that is not good. They started giving me medication through the IV to make my blood pressure go higher to counter like the epidural. So epidural, blood pressure is dropping, they're trying to bring it back up. So they give me 3 doses of this medication. With the epidural, now the medication is not working, so they ended up giving me 5 doses of the medication to bring my blood pressure back up. So that's fine. Eventually things are like rolling, so they keep checking how dilated I am. At one point I'm 5 centimeters, so now things are like really rolling. I'm thinking everything's working out. The epidural, they brought the dose down to 8. Again, I don't know 8 what the measurement is, but they said 8. So they brought it down. But now I'm starting to feel things a little bit, which is like the epidural is not working as well. So they gave me a stronger type of epidural, like different types of meds in it. Things are now moving. So I'm 5 centimeters, things are going well. The plan was for our moms to be there when I deliver. So they had told us at this rate now, it's going to be by like 10 or 10:30 p.m. The moms can be there, and then you'll push for like an hour or 2 and the baby should come out. The nurse checks me and she now says, oh my gosh, you're at 7 or 8 centimeters. So things are really moving. So you can even text the moms and say that like things are moving quicker. So maybe come in like a few hours instead of late at night. So now I'm happy. Things are moving. Things are going well. My boyfriend takes a nap. So when he goes to bed, everything is good. It's all good news and we're gonna have a baby soon. A few hours later, he wakes up, and keep in mind, I'm awake this whole time. So I've been talking to the nurses, everything's happening. So now the doctor comes and checks me, and this is where I had started getting really hot, and they checked my temperature and I have a fever. So that is not good. That could be a sign of infection. So now the doctor checks me and she says, you're only 5 centimeters. So the girl that had checked me and said 7 or 8 was wrong. That was according to her measurement. But the doctor checked me and she says, you're wrong. It's 5 centimeters. and your cervix is like inflamed. So you have an infection. Why didn't you guys induce me beforehand? I don't know, but now I have an infection. So I was 5 centimeters for hours and hours. I had stopped dilating at 5 centimeters and my cervix was inflamed. I have an infection. I have to be on antibiotics against the infection. So they put me on that for like 24 hours through IV afterwards. Anyways, so the moms have now arrived, and now the doctors are getting really worried because my blood pressure is still dropping, so the medication has stopped working. And now the latest problem is every time I have a contraction, which is every few minutes, the baby's heart rate is dropping. So now that the baby's health is in jeopardy, now it's getting more serious. My friend wakes up now after a few hours, and there's 5 doctors, well, there's like a doctor and then 5 like nurses and stuff. So 5 people in the room, and people are like running. So they're running in and out. They're like kind of freaking out. There's tension. So he wakes up and shit just like hit the fan. Poor guy. So now, and the moms are there. So he's wondering like, what's going on? Like, you know, this is not good. Now, keep in mind, at this point, I am on these medications. They're not making me high, but they're just messing with my body so much. And with the infection, I'm kind of like passed out. I'm like just kind of like in and out. So I'm in like a fever dream, like I'm like passed out, not unconscious, but like kind of half in, half out. And because I'm in recovery, I did not want any medication that could get me high. So everybody knows this, the doctors know this, the nurses know this. No one has given me anything that can get me high mentally. Obviously, there's drugs and like the epidural, and I had a meeting with the anesthesiologist about that beforehand. So I knew, like going into it, that nothing can get me high. That gives me peace of mind. There's alternatives. But just because of the medication and stuff, I'm not feeling good. I've thrown up now 3 times, and through my entire pregnancy, I threw up once. So now that everybody's in the room running and they're kind of like more serious now, like the tone has definitely changed. Things are now not progressing, and the baby's health is not as good as it was. So we start saying the words C-section. I knew going into it that no matter what my birth plan was, it could change. I even made like a birth binder. You have to go into labor knowing that things just might like not work out at all for you, and you might have to adapt. And I was fine adapting. The reason I did not want a C-section was honestly just because I'm scared. Just because of my experiences with surgery, because they're so limited, I was just scared because I know that you're awake. Like, it's not just a surgery that like you go to sleep, you wake up and you're missing a body part. You're awake. They start saying the word C-section. Now, I wanted to do it without a C-section. So I'm telling them, I'm very calm, but I'm saying, if I have to, absolutely. Like if the baby is, you know, something bad's gonna happen to the baby, I don't care, cut my arm off for the baby. Like, do what you gotta do. Of course, the baby comes first. But let's do it as a last resource. So how much time can we wait until we have to do a C-section? And she said about an hour. So now I'm thinking, this is like very serious. Like I have to dilate from 5 to 10 centimeters with an infection within an hour, or we have to do a C-section. So within about 20 minutes, we all decided all together, like all these like 6 people in the room and the moms, everyone's there. And we finally decided, so it was obviously up to me, but the doctors were saying like, there's no way that you can get through this without doing a C-section. Like it's impossible. So, you know, consider it, let us know what you decide. But within the hour, the baby needs to come out. So I decided, obviously, let's do a C-section. I'm scared, and I broke down crying, and, you know, I got reassured. 1/3 of pregnancies apparently are C-sections. So I know that it's a very common procedure. I was just personally scared, but I was ready to do it. Anything for the baby. Like, of course, like the baby needs to come out. We both want to survive. So if C-section is the way to go, that's the way to go. So within that hour, I was brought into the operating room. So it was an urgent C-section, basically is what you would call it. Now, while being prepped for the OR, so I'm lying there in the hallway. I have that little cap on, the little blue cap. They are explaining what the consequences are, like what's it called? Effects afterwards, what can happen and what to look out for, and just that I understand, you know, all the risks involved. So I'm lying there, I'm being prepped, and then the anesthesiologist comes up and talks to me and says, I know you want to do this no medication, but listen, you're going into a major surgery right now. You cannot do this without medication. We have to give you morphine. Obviously, I don't want to feel anything through this surgery or it's going to be unbearable. So I decided, like, okay, yes, like, you know what's best. You're the anesthesiologist. I know it's going to wear off quickly. No problem. So now I'm on morphine. They go into the OR. So I haven't felt my legs at this point because it's not the same kind of epidural for a C-section. It's like a different kind and it's stronger. So now I'm all fully numb. So I can't feel anything from like here down. So my legs are numb. They have to physically bring me onto another table. Like, people lifted me up onto the operating table. So I'm there now. I'm being prepped. Finally, my boyfriend is allowed in the room. So he's sitting on this side. So our heads are like together. So I'm telling him, talk to me, so that I don't hear what they're saying, because I'm still awake. I'm kind of woozy, but I'm still awake. I'm numb, but I know what's going on. So we have this big sheet that goes here up until like the ceiling almost. So I can't see anything. He can't see the operation either. Now I start puking again because of the medication. So I kind of just turn, I throw up. This is like not glamorous at all. Like, this story is like just, it's not cute. So we did the operation. Now, I'm not gonna say I didn't feel it, because I did feel the operation. It didn't hurt. So I felt when they cut me. I felt when they like opened me up and took the baby out. I felt that, but it didn't hurt, if that makes sense. So you do feel things in a C-section, or I did anyways. So they cut me, the baby, all of us. So I'm kind of getting distracted by my boyfriend talking to me. And then they keep checking up on me, how I'm doing. I'm like in and out a little bit. And then all of a sudden we hear a baby crying, which is like, I'm gonna cry, but we just kind of looked at each other, and then things just changed, because you don't know when she's coming, because it's not like, okay, push, you know, we see the head, she's almost here. I didn't have that experience. So I didn't know when she was coming. So all of a sudden, to know that she's there and she's crying, it was so like magical as a moment. We just froze and we looked in each other's eyes and we're like, oh my gosh, like, the baby's born now, you know, like, it was just so cool. That's fine. Everything's good. They come and show me the baby. They clean her up. Then they come and put her on my chest. We take a picture. And then they have to, sorry, like, so emotional. Then they have to stitch me back up. My boyfriend is not rushed out of the room, but he's brought out of the room with the baby with a nurse. And they have to close me up, because now I'm starting to react to other medications. So he wasn't allowed in the room anymore for some reason. So they have to stitch me back up, and I could hear them talking to each other. So there's two people working on me. There's like the surgeon, or the lady who delivered the baby or whatever, and she's training someone. And I remember thinking, why are you training someone on me? But okay, because I remember her saying, no, you're gonna do it like this, don't do it this way, do it like this. And then I hear her saying, so she's talking to the anesthesiologist who's beside me, and he's asking how things are going every few minutes, because he can't see either. And there's a bunch of other people in the room too. I felt like I was in Grey's Anatomy. Like, there's people all around in the room. So anyways, finally, she says, good, but the intestines are in the way. Can you imagine hearing that while you're awake and you're feeling everything? So then the anesthesiologist is like, do you feel anything? Like, how are you doing with the pain? And now I start to feel her sewing me up. So I could feel the needle going in. So now I'm saying, well, now I can feel things. Like I feel the pain now. So he gives me more medication to numb me. After all that is over, so that took like, I think 45 minutes for the whole operation. Now I'm being brought into another room and I'm sitting there with one nurse and my boyfriend for a good like hour. And I remember asking, why are we in this room? Because I'm kind of like in and out. I want to go see the moms. I don't know why we're in this room. What are we doing here? But she shows us how to, like, I think swaddle. I don't even know. For that part, I was so out of it. I remember being in the room afterwards with the moms, which is a different room. And they had changed this room because someone else needed the private room. So we went into a semi-private room, but no one ever came into the other side. So it was like a private room, but we were in another room. And I remember asking, well, how will the moms know to go into that room? And where is all our stuff? So the nurse said, well, if the moms were in the private room, they got kicked out. So they're going to be in the room when you get there. So don't worry. I was so out of it. Like I don't even barely remember being in that room. But I know that my boyfriend learned a lot there because he changed the first few diapers when I was like asleep and recovering from the surgery. And he knew how to do things before I did. So I think he got taught in that room how to do things. We go into the other room and now the moms are there. Now we all meet the baby. Everything's fine. They're checking up on me. The baby's in great health, so they were more worried about me than the baby. We're in the hospital like a total of like 4 days basically. So the Friday when we got there, we got sent home, then we went back in that night, and then we were there until Monday. Finally, we're in the room, and I'll show you guys that video. Everyone is happy, everyone is like hanging out, we're meeting the baby, everything's good. They're checking up on me. They transfer me back into the other bed. Now it's just about my recovery. But because of the medication and the morphine, I was sick that entire day. So I was just throwing everything up. I ate a pack of Jell-O and I ate a popsicle and I threw those up as well. I could not have anything until the following day when I ordered room service. So I ordered 3 meals that day, and I'll show you guys those as well. So they have like a program that you can order like room service. Basically it's hospital room service, but it was still like, I got scrambled eggs, I got sausages, I got oatmeal, I got toast, I got like desserts, like I got a bunch of stuff. Now it's all about my recovery and then taking care of the baby, obviously. So they're showing us all that stuff. They're showing us how to do breastfeeding. The milk doesn't come in for about 3 days, and it could take longer with a C-section. I did not know this. I thought you had milk like right away. You just have colostrum, I think it's called. So that's what the baby is feeding on the first few days. The nurses were all amazing. We got so much help. Like a big shout out to the nurses. I'm not gonna say like too much information with like where and all that, but if you were there and you're a nurse and you're watching this, if you remember me, round of applause for you. You did so good taking care of me. We actually thanked them when we left, like personally, because it was just such an amazing experience. Everyone there was so nice. Everyone that took care of us was just amazing. Like my boyfriend was there the entire time with me, and they gave him like blankets and pillows, and just like everything was great. We were allowed to have as many visitors as we wanted. We just had the moms at first, and then my boyfriend's dad and sister came the next day, or like the next night, just to like kind of stop by, see the baby, and then go home. Just because I was like in so much pain and recovering. Like C-section, like you can't pee on your own, you can't do anything on your own really. I could not get up. Last week at home, I was not able to walk. I wasn't able to do anything, like stand up, nothing. I didn't sleep in my own bed until a few nights ago because it hurt so much to lie down. So I was sleeping on the couch sitting. It was just like the recovery from a C-section is awful. It takes 6 weeks total. I just got cleared to drive, but technically you're not like allowed to drive. You're not supposed to drive for weeks. It's a lot. I don't know how I'm doing so well right now. Like I'm able to drive. I'm able to like stand up perfectly, like do my regular routine. I'm still not pushing myself too much. Like I'm still not gonna lift anything heavier than the baby, which is what's recommended. So I'm not like working out yet. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just doing my day-to-day, you know, cleaning around the house, just like little things. That's basically my labor story. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. After the operation, I was still kind of in and out, so I don't remember 100%. The video I'm going to show you guys of us like coming back into the room, I don't remember any of that. I vaguely remember the picture of us after the C-section that I'll show you guys, but other than that, I don't remember the video.
I know. Am I going in the room?
Yeah, I think so. And they're already in there.
No, but how am I going in there? Oh, ils sont. Je sais. On va raconter tes grands-mamans. Oh, oui, c'est clair. Should I comfortable on this side? Should I breathe?
Yeah, I think she can.
Just be careful, man.
Thank you. Take care.
Merci. They're doing changes to her or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
That's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know if you enjoyed it by liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. I can definitely do more story times. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but it was a lot. It was an experience for sure. I'm not sure when I'm gonna have my next kids, not anytime soon. But I'm very grateful that, you know, my baby's healthy and I'm healthy and everything worked out in the end. You are about to give birth, or, you know, you will in the future. I'm thinking of you. I'm sending you positive vibes. It's all gonna go well. But just know that when you go into it, you need to be flexible with your plan, because sometimes things just go wrong. Sometimes things just happen. So definitely go in with a plan, but know that it might change, and that's okay. On that note, I will end this video here and see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to check out my description box for all of my socials and discount codes and Amazon storefront. And as always, I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.